Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of 3 Foot Good. I'm Daren.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Rich.
And it's been a while.
It has been a while.
It's been a minute since we've done anything. We've been kind of busy.
Yeah. We went to a tournament.
We did go to a tournament.
And that's what we're going to talk about.
We are going to talk about that. We played some Saga here not too long ago.
We did.
Yeah.
We went over and played Saga.
Doubles match. We got our asses handed to us.
We played Saga here, and we played between us.
Yeah, we did.
And then we went to Don's place. And
and played some Saga.
I don't know if we got our asses kicked. But, I mean, we probably lost.
We certainly lost.
I don't know. I might have been able to turn the flank. Maybe.
Right. But I was gone.
Yeah. Those elephants. Yeah. So
the tournament.
It's the tournament. So this is the whole thing. We went up to Madison, Wisconsin. We went up and saw Jay and his Wampa Squadron guys. Armand put on the tournament at
did a great job.
Knoble Knight Games.
Yes, Knoble Knight Games. If you haven't been there,
especially if you're a local-ish area, if you're within like an hour of this store, even go to it.
I've ordered stuff from them a couple of times. Yeah, I've ordered stuff from them a couple of times. This is the first time I've actually been to their storefront.
And it was a nice store.
Yeah,
lots of space.
Big.
So
so we had a good time. The tournament was a lot of fun.
It was 22.
Was it? Yeah.
Because there was 23 signed up,
but one didn't show.
So
it went down
to 22.
Yeah, went to 22.
So 22 players.
So it goes into the ELO rankings.
Yep.
It's over
there
20.
Was an invite for Worlds.
Yes, there was.
Spoiler, I didn't get it. We'll talk about that, though.
Yeah.
I will say, and this is always a pleasure, and I don't know if Armand fixed it this way because I know Game Uplink doesn't have the option to make traveling teams. You, me, and Chris went.
Yeah, we didn't
separately.
Have to play.
We didn't. Round one.
Yeah.
Didn't get paired.
Right.
And that's all I care about because after round one, then it's all up.
Yeah,
it goes off of your ranking.
Yeah.
We didn't play anybody. I didn't play anybody that I knew. Neither did Daren. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't play Chris. I didn't play Daren. So I got to play 3 completely new people.
Actually, I didn't play anybody I'd played before, and I've played.
Yeah, you've played a couple of the people there.
Wampa, yeah.
I did not play anybody that I had played before either. I could have. I was hoping for a rematch against Nick.
Yeah.
He brought his same list because the nerf to Dark Troopers just made him drop the Dark Saber off Gideon, and that's it. Yeah. And he kept the list the same.
Yeah.
But so it was a fun 3 rounds. So we weren't there all day, all night. Which was nice.
Yeah.
We took our normal Republic lists.
Yes, we did.
And this is the first time I've ever been at a tournament. Republic was the most numerous faction. There was 8 Republic and 7 Empire, and then 5 Rebels, and then I think there was 1 droid and one Shadow Collective.
Yeah, one Shadow.
I think.
One Shadow.
So I think that's right. That might be the math. Might work out right. There's something around in there. I just know we had the most. That's a win then. The Republic wins. We have the most.
But no, how did we do in the end?
I went 2-1. Mm-hmm. I lost. I won my first game against the Shadow Collective Pike Spam list because he got a little too overzealous with Maul, and he decided to run Maul into an Overwatch shot of Wookiees, melee Wookiees, and took 3 wounds, and so he was almost dead, and he was dead turn 2. So that really hurt him, but the Pike gun line, man, I had to run at him. My Wookiees just dove in, and once you get in, you're a little better, but it's still that gun. You can't chip. You cannot chip. And actually, Chris played him at the last tournament, and Chris's Republic list at the time was all about chip damage, doing that range 4, 1 to 2 in, and they have that situational awareness and dodges, and they're just I'm behind heavy cover. Oh yeah, crits. I don't care about crits. I dodge them.
Yeah.
So I was able to win that one. We sabotaged the moisture evaporator. I got 3 of them completely to my side, and he had the 2. He had his 1, so he got the 2 points from that one. So it was a good round 1. Got the rust knocked off of an actual tournament game. I did bring my Rex and the Walking Carpet. It's the same. It's actually the exact same list I took to Adepticon, except with the 5 points I saved in the list because Rex dropped. Woo! I was able to finagle some of the smoke grenades off, and I got a extra Phase 1 clone trooper in the RPS squad, and I had a 1-point bid. And I remembered to bring all of my miniatures this time, so I didn't forget a squad at home. Right. So I've maybe redeemed myself. Probably not yet, but so I had a 1-point bid, which made me be. I got to pick once. I had the bid on the against the first player. He had an 800 point. I chose to be red because I think I want to pick my side edge. So how'd your round one go, Darren?
It went well. Alex, I believe I played first round. He was running a rebel list.
Oh God, yeah.
He had 2 T-47s.
Not to interrupt. We didn't take any pictures.
Yeah.
We got busy playing.
There's going to be pictures, but
There's
this is
pictures?
because of Armand, who ran the tournament.
Right.
He
Armand sent us his pictures that he took.
Thank you.
Yes,
Armand,
thank you, Armand, because we are horrible. We didn't take any
Yeah,
pictures.
we didn't take any pictures, and we didn't bring Tech Wizard Rich with us.
Right, so there was no video. There was no nothing.
I should have said, "Get your ass out of bed, let's go."
Right, sleep in the back of the car.
I slept until noon that day.
So I should have just drug his ass with.
So one of the pictures, because Darren had to fight, and when I saw the list, it was a double airspeeder rebel list.
Yeah, with 2 ATRTs. As soon as I saw it, I was like, "Oh, damn!" This
And
is
you brought? What'd you bring? You brought?
Oh, what do you think I brought?
Well, I know what you brought.
The 2 beam.
2 ISP Cody list. Yes.
Yeah, with a full Wookiee squad linebackers. So we ended up also playing Sabs. I knew that I couldn't out armor him, of course, and he was going to be much more. In fact, it was the one table when I looked at all the tables. So when I did a walk through all the tables, I looked at the table and said, "Man, I really don't want to play in this table." And that was the first table I got. It was a beautiful table, but there was blocking terrain everywhere, and it was tight fit everywhere.
There was one table I was like, I don't want to play Chris on that table.
Yeah.
And I didn't play him on that table.
And so I thought, I'm going to be in trouble on this table with what he's got. So I think though that helped me because it made me just play objectives and not worry about shooting anything and just kill his thumbs, and so it kind of forced me into doing what I needed to do, and so I won that game by objective. So
right. Oh, I probably should have mentioned that too.
Yeah. So I won by objective in that game, and but Alan was a great opponent. In fact, I think maybe it was his second tournament, maybe.
Okay.
And
the droid player, it was his first tournament, right?
There were several guys.
A couple guys. It was their first tournament,
and they had a great time, which it speaks a bunch to the community.
Sean was my first opponent. I don't know if I mentioned his name, and it actually ended up being that I had 2 units of clones left at the end of the game.
Yeah.
That's all. I think I had like 6 models left on the board because it was just everything else was just dead. And I had my guys just arranged to where we're just making it so he can't get to the objectives. He's got to go through my guys, and so yeah, it was very much. I played that rebel. I played with my rebel style, but just with red armor saves on the clones.
Yeah. My second game was against Kyle from Wampa, right?
Yes.
Yeah. The table really helped my list. It was pretty open in the middle.
Did you play the desert table?
It was not the desert, but it was kind of one of those. It was a center table that was kind of open, and it had like a fountain or something like that in the center, but it was pretty much open after that. And that helped me. I was able to stay back, and it was hostage. We played hostage.
No, what did Kyle play?
He was playing Rebel also, but he was running 2 of the speeders with Sabine in one and Ahsoka in the other.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so so of course I stayed back. I wasn't going to go out and meet him, and I stayed back, and I kept the Wookiees back as a linebacker because I knew for sure he was going to get into my face. And so I kept them back to jump in. However, luckily for me and unluckily for Kyle, my dice decided to get really hot. And so as he came across that first round of shooting, I don't generally shoot at the speeders when I shoot at the occupants because you're only -2 dice and you fire support into that surge crit. And so in my first shot, I put 3 wounds on Ahsoka in that first shot, which is big.
That's half her health.
Yeah, that's half her health, which is pretty big. And it kind of set him on his heels a little bit, I think. It actually kind of took the initiative away from him a little.
And then you did something you've never done before.
was that?
You beamed to the transport.
Oh yeah. So I shot her, and then with only 4 dice going into Sabine, who was close enough, but there's only 4 dice. You're going to lose 2 anyway if you hit.
Yep.
So you're only going to get 2 through. So I beamed at the transport, and I think I did a couple wounds for that, and then the other one, which is I had never done that before. I was like, can I beam? It's a different unit. You can.
I heard Daren call for a judge, and I was like, what? So I kind of perked up my ears. I'm like, what's this question now?
Yeah, I know, right?
My game was probably already over at this point. We'll get to mine.
So yeah, and so I was like, oh, well, shoot, I can shoot them and then beam that and then beam over there. That's pretty cool. So yeah, you can. By the way, pick
separate units.
And thankfully, because of Chris Vale, I had to go out and get a player that uses those speeders with Luke in it or something like that. And I learned the hard way that you ignore the speeders, so everything you got at the occupant, go ahead and take that 2 die penalty.
Wow, but now though, if you can get the transport,
he sits there. He'll sit there and open. Maybe.
But no, you usually still. You
slam them.
Or you just use a blast weapon and then they don't get any cover.
Right.
Oh, we don't have.
I don't have that. So that helped me. And then once they did disembark, I was able to take advantage of it. And then my dice, of course, were. I mean,
not Daren dice.
They weren't. No, my dice were pretty damn hot. And Kyle's unfortunately were not. And so everything kind of favored me in that game. And I had a really good game and ended up winning it.
So Daren's going 2-0. I play a Josh No, who he and his son were there. His son
played
was
really
playing.
well too.
Yeah,
he's a good player.
I believe he played Kendall first round.
Yeah.
And beat Kendall.
Beat Kendall first round, yeah.
He was playing a Palpatine Din list with IRG and then Stormtroopers.
Yeah.
And we did key positions. Or was it? I'm sorry, Intercept the Transmission. And Josh, amazing opponent. The only thing I had to he learned something was that Palpatine couldn't give an order to Din because Palpatine didn't have underworld connections.
Oh.
And so he might have messed that up in his first game because he's like, I'm like, well, do you have underworld connections on him? He's like, can I not give orders to... I'm like, well, no, because he's a different rank. I'm like, Din can give orders to anybody. And so then the judge came over and explained it. He's like, I might have screwed that up in the first game. I can't remember. But it was, again, it was fine. I was actually, at the end of turn 2, I thought I was doing pretty good because Din was dead on turn 2. Again, Din came up and my Wookiees were just like, we'll go ahead and eat some Mandalorian armor. It's fine. He did get his Whistling Birds off before I could kill him. But I think he only did like 3 wounds. And he had, I think, 4 units he shot it at. So, and all the 3 wounds were on 1 Wookiee unit. So I lost a Wookiee model. And then he didn't roll anything for the other units. So, okay, that wasn't horrible. That wasn't bad. I dropped Din. So I'm feeling really good. At the end of 2, I've got 2 points to his 1. And then Palpatine proceeds to block. What was it? I rolled 18 at him. He rolled 18 saves and took, I believe, 2 wounds from 18 saves. Not counting the stuff that went away to heavy cover and not counting the stuff that went away to Guardian. Mm-hmm. He had to roll 18 saves. He made 12 in a row without taking a wound. And then my last 6 got 2 through. And I'm just like, what in the hell? I can't. And then now you shall die. And I lost Rex. I lost Chewie. I lost a Wookiee unit. And I was like, well, this game is over. I have lost because I now no longer have enough unit leaders. But I'm not going to concede because I'm not going to give him the concession. He's going to have to try and kill my entire army. And he did not do that. So it was just a loss, a win for him. Again, great opponent. Mm-hmm. Palp just wouldn't die. And he forgot about barrier on 2 of the times. Oh. It was until turn 4 when he remembered he had barrier on Palp and hadn't been using it.
He remembered it against me.
Yeah, well, because Daren then ends up. So now Josh is 2-0 because he was 1-0 when I played him. Yeah. I go down to the lower bracket and Daren gets paired with him.
I end up playing Josh my last game.
All right, you want to go? Well, we'll keep yours because you're playing for the biscuits.
Okay,
I am not. So I pull up against another Empire player. So I played a Paul. I played two Empire and a Shadow Collective, but his Empire was Iden, Officer Boba, ISF, and Inferno Squad, and then some Stormtroopers thrown in there. So it was a completely different list. And his mistake was he moved out Inferno Squad to try and finish off my Wookiees, who were hiding kind of by this fountain thing that you couldn't see over. So he had to come out to get them, and he wanted to finish them off because you don't let Wookiees get into your line. And in doing that, I was then able to move and get a shot with my shotgun clones. And then the next turn, the shotgun clones, I believe, did enough wounds that he only had Gideon left in his Inferno Squad. So I did 4 wounds to him, and took out I took out Delmico and the normal person, and he only had Gideon left. And then Gideon died before he got the tack strike. So his tack strike turn, it's just the 2 ISF, and then he throws it over to a regular Stormtrooper squad in Iden. And it wipes out another Wookiee unit, so I'm down to only having like a Wookiee and a half left in one squad, another full unit, because I didn't want Iden to deep strike in my corner, so I kind of spread wide on my deployment. So they were probably going to get into it for a turn, but then I just charged in with the Wookiees, and the Wookiees just, once they're engaged, it's hard to get rid of them. Now, Stormtroopers can do it, they roll the black dice. He hadn't really played against the Wookiee command cards, so I was explaining the Wookiee command cards, and he does the wrong thing. I do my Demoralize 1, and I'm in range, Chewie's in range, so that I can give Demoralize 1 to the 2-man Wookiee squad that's engaged with Special Forces. And he does Iden's 1 pip that after Iden activates, she gets a standby token. I told him what the card did, so he knew they had Demoralize. He still activated Iden first. Iden shot to kill off, put wounds onto, he shot at Rex, and I Guardianed them down to Chewie, but the suppression went onto Rex. And then he got a standby. I then activate the unit, they demoralize Iden, give her a suppression, so she loses her standby. So he should have waited, because again, he had more activations than me. He could have waited till after I activated to activate Iden, but then I guess that kind of wastes the standby either way. So it wasn't good. The demoralized card worked. So it was a fun game. It was, again, Sabotage the Moisture Evaporators. Played that twice, so I'm okay with that. And it was just, once I got in to where his officer and all the stormtroopers were, it was over, and he was like, we can call it, we can be done, we don't need to play. I think we ended up playing 6 rounds. We didn't no concession, but it was another one that was, I think it was like 5-2 or something. I think I tapped his VAP once or twice to get away a couple of his points. So it might have been 4-2. It was something like that. It was a really fun game. Paul was from the Green Bay area, so he traveled down to it, which was cool because I played a local. Sean was a local, and then I got to play somebody from Green Bay who was from the farther north. So that was cool that people traveled, not just like from us, but elsewhere. So, but yeah, it was a fun time, great time. Went 2-1, ended up being, I think I was 7th overall of the 22 of the 22. I think it was 7th.
I didn't even look at what I ended up.
I think you were higher than me. Yeah.
Well,
because that's what happens when you only lose to the guy that wins the tournament.
Yeah. Well, okay, so spoiler alert, I lost the third game. So played against Josh, and he's running Palp with 2 Royal Guards, and we're playing VAPs. During deployment, I see what's going on, and he's got 1 unit or 1 VAP that's kind of toward the back, and he's got 1 squad to go tap that VAP. Now, I don't want to mess with the Royal Guards or with Din or with Palp. I don't want to get into that fight, because I'm going to lose that fight, as I did. And so I set Wooks, a squad, and Cody to my left, and the original thought was, and I had a ISP to bring the ISP out, to give them cover, and just run them toward that other VAP, and try and make him play my game, where he has to go defend that VAP, and he can't come across because he's got to go after that VAP.
Right.
And it started to work about turn 1, And then, then in turn 2, he noticed how much plinking damage I was getting through with them damn ISPs, and I was outranging him. So then he came across with everything. I was like, ah, shit. And then at that point, my whole plan fell apart. And instead of doing what I wanted to do, what I should have do.
You did do something cool though, right? Wasn't this the game where you
separated his...
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So because I played ISPs so much, you have to find interesting ways to use them to get an advantage. One of those is they're really fast. Okay?
Yep.
I got a speed 3 move, plus you've got the plate. So you can move... Yeah, don't let me get bombing run, because I'm getting a 2 across really fast. But they also displace. In a speed 3 move, you can... And with link targeting array, I can usually shoot with an aim, and then get across and maybe displace you. Well, Royal Guards and Palp are a pain in the ass, because they can do all that wonderful...
Guardian range 1.
Yeah, range 1 Guardian stuff.
Line of sight.
Yeah.
Can't do that when there's an ISP in between
When
you.
there's an ISP in between you, it makes it a little bit more difficult.
Yep.
And so I did that, and then got everybody spread apart, so it wasn't quite as effective, which I think that is how the game went longer, is I was able to get him not being able to use everything it was, but unfortunately I changed the way I was playing to match what he was doing. I didn't make him play the way I wanted to, and so I sent the Wooks in, and they ended up getting shot up. That squad was there. I ended up losing. It went down to points, but I certainly lost by points. I don't remember how much it was, but I mean, however, though, Din was still alive. He didn't get his bounty.
Palp was dead?
Palp was dead, and both Royal Guard were dead.
Oh yeah, after Palp, now you shall die, so he's down to 1 wound. I still had to shoot him 2 more times before he died, with only 1 wound left.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
how is he making all of these?
Yeah.
Like I don't.
Dude is great.
I hate to
Yeah.
blame dice
Yeah.
because like I'm
Yeah.
sure there was something I could have done.
Yeah, but I got a couple of 3 nice fire supports into him after the You Should Die, and he was making saves and guardian and doing all that stuff. So he did
Yep.
what he needed to do.
Which is what you need to do with Palp.
Yeah,
So-
what you need. So he played very well, and kudos to Josh. So after our game, he won.
He was just like, oh yeah, no, I didn't, because he knew he was 3-0, but there were 3 3-0s
Right.
and only 1 invite. So he's like, I'm not getting the invite. I didn't get high enough. Blah 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 blah. I came over and congratulated him. He's like, oh, on the win. I'm like, no, and I showed him the game uplink. He's like, holy shit, I won.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I guess he's going to Adepticon now.
Yeah, so now he's got to go to Adepticon, which is good. It was very cool. Very cool.
And Nick wanted to make sure to everybody that goes up into the Wisconsin area that Nick goes to, he will still be bringing his Gav Trooper Double Dark list because he hasn't gotten his invite yet, and that's because of now Josh. So now we can just blame Josh for why he's still bringing the Double Darks Gav
That's
tanks.
all right.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, he's coming down here for the fall brawl with
Is
it.
he?
So
Good.
but
Good.
we may not have invite. So that's a whole nother issue.
That's a whole other issue. But yeah, it was. I mean, it was a great tournament. Had a lot of fun. And Tyler and I were talking too. Had I even won that game, I wouldn't have.
Right.
You know, my strength of schedule.
Darren's strength of schedule was
Wouldn't
not
have been enough to-
Josh's because I
yeah.
believe all of Josh's opponents
We're
went 2-1.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so,
Yeah, so he was their only loss. So he was kicking some ass
yep.
Saturday. Well done,
Yes,
Josh.
yes, he was.
Yeah, well done, Josh.
Well done. Couldn't dethrone him. So.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, looking for you at Adepticon. What's that?
Does Josh have a YouTube channel?
He does
Does
not.
not.
But he knows about ours now.
He does. Yeah, he knows
He
about
did-
ours.
he knows
Yeah.
about
I
ours.
just thought we could link to him or
Oh,
something.
right. That would
No,
be cool.
no. He's,
But yeah, so we will be looking for you at the next tournament, Josh. So we both lost to you.
right, yeah.
Give me the opportunity.
I mean,
give me the opportunity to kick our asses again.
I don't think that's never happened to where we've lost to the same person in the same tournament now.
Who won the tournament?
Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
No,
know.
I know.
right?
Like,
Yeah.
like we've never been at a tournament where we both only lost to the same person.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
I usually
I
have
guess.
much more losses than that.
But like, yeah, I guess now I gotta go gun for him now.
I guess you're marked man.
Right.
Yeah. And if you stayed this long, this is for you.
Hopefully, it's not just another picture of the tournament. I mean, hopefully,
I've got a feeling it's not going to be another picture of the tournament. I would go to every tournament if they look like
yeah,
what
right.
that's going
Yeah.
to be. Yeah.
So what else? What else has happened? Well, so Ewoks and Tempest Force were legal for the tournament.
Yes.
There were several Tempest Force battle forces there.
There were, but they weren't like the 3 ATST kind of thing.
Was there? I thought there was one 3 ATST.
Was it 3?
There was one. I know there was one that had 2.
Right.
I thought there was one that took 3, but maybe
No.
not. I know Jay took his bikes in ATST and just did Jay things.
Right.
So,
but a lot of that was with the cards
right.
because they had great cards.
Yeah. And
There were no Bright Village lists.
Nope. I don't even think there were any Ewoks.
Yeah,
I don't
no.
remember seeing any Ewoks in any of the Rebel forces. I know Chris said he was going to maybe do it, but then he didn't. He brought his Echo Base 4 FD cannons.
Did he end up 2-1?
Maybe. I don't know. I
Okay.
would hate to say yes or no. I
Okay.
can't remember. I know he won his first game.
Yes.
I don't know how he did after that. And then Kendall brought single ISP triple bark
Right.
list with Cody. And he went, I believe he went 1 and 2,
1 and 2.
I think. Again, I can't remember. Dan was there from Create Minis.
Yes. Yes.
He actually beat Jay in round 2 with
Which is
his
cool, yeah.
Kenobi. He brought back Kenobi.
Kenobi making another appearance.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Nick had his double darks. And like I said, and then I met people who I hadn't seen before.
Yeah,
So,
which is cool. And there were some new guys too, some
Yeah.
very new guys, which was so cool.
Yep.
I mean,
one, the droid guy didn't. I mean, everything was just assembled.
Yeah.
Which again,
Don't
completely
care.
fine. Hey, he got best in faction.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's right. He did.
he also got worst in faction.
He did that
And there
too.
were prizes for both.
Yeah.
So he got them both.
Yeah.
But no, I would definitely, if you're up in the Dubuque area and you're watching this, if you're in the Wisconsin area, get in contact with the Wampa Squadron. Comment in this video, and we will get you in contact with them
those
because
guys,
again,
yeah.
Dan watches the videos, Jay watches our videos. So if you comment, we'll tag them. They'll get you. You guys can talk. It's an amazing community. I think Armand was saying they had something like 4 or 5 game stores in the Madison area.
Yeah.
But like one half of the city kind of died after COVID of playing, and the other half didn't, and now it's kind of starting to spread again. So
Yep.
yeah, that must be nice. We get one,
That's all right.
and we can't even maybe
A
get
4.
game stores
Yeah.
that have game nights.
Yeah.
Oh, shows what I know. I guess I gotta get out more. Oh well, they don't do Legion nights.
They do over at Nerd HQ.
Legion?
They're playing, Shatterpoint.
Oh well, okay. We don't.
They probably have Legion. I just haven't seen them advertise it yet. I know they do X-Wing.
Right.
Yeah.
I could see them doing X-Wing and Shatterpoint. Those are quicker-ish games. Well, maybe not Shatterpoint with the 3 rounds, but that's a whole other. We don't need to get into that. We'll just,
Yeah.
So you will see some other games on this channel as well. We are by no means done with Legion. Like we've got the Fall Brawl in October, but
There's
I am.
some more tournaments coming up that we're going to.
There's one in August.
Yes.
Is in Cedar Rapids.
Right.
So we're gonna head to that one. That's the plan. So maybe I'll get my invite there. I doubt it. I'm just gonna play games. That'll be fine. And I'll probably just take Rex and the Wookiees because that's what I've been playing. That's what I know.
We are looking at, let's see, we played some Saga. We do want to get
Yep.
some Napoleonics back on the table.
So I kind of have got this itch for historicals.
Right.
So you might see that, which means I got to get all my historicals painted. Yeah. But yeah, that's I always have that issue. My Saga minis aren't painted yet, but there was paint on most of them. They weren't painted, but there was paint on them.
There was.
I actually finished a mini recently. I even
Nice.
posted a picture of it on our feed.
He did.
You should put it in this video.
Yeah.
Nah, they can just go look in the feed. It's not that good.
That's what you say.
3 foot, man.
3
3
foot.
Oh, and we had somebody even question
Yeah.
us about that, which
Yeah.
that was kind of cool because
Yeah.
we wore our the shirts that Daren had made,
Yeah.
and we went walking by, and he's like, "TFG, what's that?" So we got to sit and,
Explain, yeah,
and explain, and
Yeah.
he was like, "Oh, so it looks good." And you were like, "Exactly."
Yep.
Looks good at 3 feet. Just don't look any closer.
That's right.
There was a painting competition which was not announced at all until the morning of. So I was upset that I couldn't bring my amateur professionally painted Obi-Wan that Corey did for me to win.
That's cheating.
Yeah. Well, hey, Jay tried to put in the mini that Dan painted for
it. He was the judge.
Yeah. So Dan was the painting judge.
Yeah.
And Jay tried to put in, I think it was this Boba Fett that Dan painted for him. And I was like, well, they never said you had to be the one that painted it. I never saw that in the document. So, But Jay was disqualified
Yeah,
on that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I was like, go figure. Of course, Dan did say he was up to bribes. I mean, he said he wasn't above bribes.
He did.
So
He did say that. Yeah.
obviously, I didn't bribe him enough.
No.
No, but the main one, it was an ARC Trooper that was gorgeously painted, actually, by, I believe it was the guy that got third place, the guy that Dan played last game.
I don't remember.
But it was a fun time. So it was good to get out and play other people again. Kind of been in a little, don't want to say I needed a break from Legion, but I needed a break from Legion. And now I'm just on another kick. Again, squirrel over there. Time to go do this. But again, I love the game. We'll be back. We'll be playing it again on the channel. Especially when the special operations stuff gets finalized, released. They made some community post and they talked about how they are still going through all the feedback they got from the second round. And when it's done, they will announce and release the full rules for it.
Also, if you've stuck with us this long, we are going to do, I think, a live painting stream at some point. We're going to sit down here and we're going to sit down here with a couple of buddies and we're going to sit and paint and
Probably paint train we need for the fall brawl.
For the fall brawl, probably be painting terrain, but still painting, and you guys can ask us questions and
Right. Or comment on what we're commenting on
Yeah,
when we
listen.
start quoting movies. And
listen
I'll
to the
manage
stupid
the
stories.
stream while all of you guys paint.
Yeah,
Perfect.
right. So
That's
that's
right. We'll
that's
have our
coming up
tech
also.
wizard do the tech thing.
Yeah,
Because, hey, we can't even take pictures at a tournament. So,
we did fail.
I mean, I took a picture of my army in the back of my car the night before showing my army was fully in the car. But that was the only picture I took.
You did.
Yeah.
So I think that's it for this episode. Right?
Yeah.
So stop rolling up. Stop watching us.
Go roll some dice.